Breder has been a reputable engine servicing center, starting from a small local engineering workshop and growing to meet market demand. They also focus on latest electromechanical products and services. And today we have two representatives. We have Keith Tam, who is the son of Jack, if everyone knows Jack, and also Marco Wong. First, I will introduce Keith. Keith began his marine engineering career since his completion of study in the UK in 2014. He has experience in over 500 marine engineering products. Over the years, he's been representing the company to work with many different lines, including Seakeeper, Indromar, Kohler, Yanmar, Bensonzoni, and also expertise in servicing and installing devices like gearboxes, generators, gyro stabilizers, water makers, and has been showing and promoting these products by local boat shows in the Hong Kong and Macau market. Marco Wong, who is here and helping with the cameras here. Marco has 6 years of work experience in engineering industry since his graduation in project management from the UK also in 2015. His focus is the implementation of innovative technologies for marine purposes. And I guess with that, let's, we thought maybe it might be useful to take a little walk around. So maybe you can show us first like the office and then show the workshop, and then we're going to come back here. Okay, so let's take a little walk. Here we are in Wong Chuk Hong, very close to AMC ABC, and here is here is the office right off the main road here. Our office, see Jack Tanner there. Where all the hey Jack, how's it going? Yeah. So we're just doing a little tour. You guys have been here since 1985 in this location. Wow, long time. Long time. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to show. Now we're just going to show the workshop also. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's. And so we just go a short distance down. Okay, so here we see the workshop and a lot of all the custom that we do, right? Like there must be times you can't find a part that you to make the part yourself. You have to, yeah. I see you got all some engine seals over here and gasket. Yep. Okay, just to give you guys an idea, let's go back and the showroom. Yep. And continue. And maybe we could also, you can comment a little. We're going to come back to this later, but you have here like a gyro stabilizer here, right? A generator, right? Here's a Yanmar 4-stroke engine over here. Yeah. 4-stroke engine, right? Yeah. Another stabilizer, and then a numerous amount of parts and products, filters, fuel filters, air filters, all kinds of stuff. Here I see this looks kind of like the one we have on our boat, the Yanmar tachometer and switch. Start. Oh yeah, start of course. The bane of our existence sometimes. Okay. Okay, great. So let's so thanks for the quick tour. So I think the plan today is to I think first I want to probably raise a couple like kind of horror stories to get people interested, like to get people's attention, and then we can go and think through some of the parts that some of the issues that engines have that are important and just to discuss some. So do you have any, maybe I tell my own horror stories first and then you can tell me.
I prepare mine.
Oh, you prepare yours over here. So, I mean, our boat is a 2008 and we have a sail drive, the MR sail drive, and we haven't replaced the diaphragm. Oh, this is right. We haven't replaced the diaphragm yet. And your dad was telling us that, you know, generally they should be replaced every 5 years. There was a boat, I think 2 years ago, that he recommended should be replaced. And the guy was, you know, kind of procrastinating. And then one weekend, his boat boy came on and there was like 2 feet of water on the boat. And so then it was like an emergency, right? Like something like that you fail to do when you lose the boat. I mean, and the other things that we've had is starters. We've had multiple starter issues because of, we're still not sure exactly why. So that's, maybe I'll come back to later. Any other stories you can think of that were?
Well, my story is say like for example, on the cell drive diaphragm issues is one of the most
catastrophic. I mean, because it's one of those parts where it fails and then it's catastrophic.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Because imagine underneath sample exactly we have this big of size of hole for the installation of the cell drive. And this diaphragm is installed between the cell drive, stopping the water getting in. If the cell diaphragm fail, water leak to the engine room, they could cause flood in the engine rooms, or maybe worst case scenario, we got a sinking hole.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. I was just telling us, we need to speak up a little more because of the fan here. Okay. Yeah. So maybe we can think about. I mean, I know also I wanted to talk a little about recent trends, and I know with a lot of the boat, I mean, especially with COVID, there have been a lot of move toward people buying motor yachts, and so you guys, I just want to point out that you guys are not only doing sail engineering for sailboats, but you're also doing engineering for motor yachts, which is a significant part of the business, and it's becoming, I guess, greater. I mean, there's probably more demand with everyone buying these motor yachts, and so, you know, for sailboat owners like us, you know, we need to kind of fight to hold our place here.
It's not competition. It's not competition. Well, we do all kind of mechanical maintenance and repair.
Yeah.
Of course, sailboat and also motorboat. To be honest, we do the mechanics depends on where they install.
Right.
You know, we officially dealer of motor maker. Some they install on motorboat.
Right.
Some they install on sailboat.
Right.
So it's not necessary to say before we fix the boat. It really depends on which boat they use the most equipment.
Right.
Which we service. Generator, water maker.
Right.
Of course, Yamaha engines.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just start getting into the key maintenance issues. So we can talk about different engine parts, different mechanical parts of the boat. And so let's just start with the engine. What are some of the things that, what are some of the common things that you are fixing with engines? I mean, there's so many things to talk about with engines, right?
Yep. Of course, first, standard service.
Right.
Standard service is very good part of it. Throughout the service, we have a lot of things, conditions happening. Sometimes when we, like simply, we replace the engine oil, we get a lot of help from the engine oil to color. Like for example, sail drive. When we check on the sail drive oil, we can see if there's water getting inside the sail drive.
Also, you were telling me the other day about the fuel lines, for example. Sometimes fuel lines for diesel engines can start getting that sludge at the bottom, and with an oil change, you can see that as well, right?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. So, because you know some of them are inside the fuel filter housing, so inspection, got some photos to show later on my
Okay.
slides
Okay, sure.
and see how my mix.
Okay, sure. Okay, so engines. So how often should you? What should be the normal maintenance schedule for engines?
Ideally, first time is 50 hours. First time engine service is very essential.
Yep.
Because after the engine is built, metal and metal together, get come off and get inside. First time replacing other than that service, we will check on the engine mounting, check if the bolt is tight enough or not. After that, every 250 hours yearly, your engines. And yearly is for checking on the condition. Because with the sling handle, better like a rubber belt, and lost its elastic.
Yeah.
It's good to have a check. But of course, definitely cell drive.
Yeah.
You check the cell drive with mechanics. Check all the sensors. Make sure they work. Because a small sensor will save you for big fortune.
Right. You were telling me like the water sensors, for example.
Yeah.
And so generally, I mean, the best then is every 250 hours or every 1 year, you should be doing regular engine maintenance just to check a lot of things like you're talking about. And then is that basically that's when you would do an oil change also, like every year, like in a car you do it every. Is that enough for you? Okay. So how, the oil change, for example.
The oil change should be like, okay, let's think according to the installation manual, operational manual, it should be changed every year. Because one thing is the engine oil of the pH value will change over time. And
Let's just turn this off. Okay. I think that will help with the sound.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that.
yeah, it should be changed every year.
Right. Okay. So okay, engine mounts, like I mean, engine mounts, you don't need to look at that every year, but I guess if you do annual service, you're
We do check it every year.
oh, you do, yeah.
Well, with for example, seat keeper like, equipment, which because it's not engine, it gives all the powers through the hull.
Yeah.
And
Vibration.
and move the visual hull.
Yeah.
So we do check every year to make sure they're tight enough.
Right. Okay.
It's not too difficult.
Too difficult. Yeah.
It's not too difficult. But one small action, if you find out, it could save your fortune as well.
Okay, so we have engine, just regular maintenance. Oh, I should.
Can you mute your?
I'll mute
Yeah,
my-
I'll try to record the voice here.
Okay. Engine maintenance, oil changes, sail drive, including the diaphragm, waterproofing, transmission, right? What about control throttles, some of the instruments, the tachometer, stuff like that? I mean, is that?
Well, to be honest, with the electric parts, there's not much we could check annually.
So you just
But-
check, you fix
For
when
the
they fail.
control, yeah, we usually do when it fails, but of course, there's always some things we can make sure.
Yeah.
For the photo, make sure it's lubricated.
Mm.
For the control, because it's installed outside usually. For the sailboat,
Yeah.
we could make sure the waterproof is good enough. Because, to make sure the waterproof gas is sealant, like between the control and also the hull. Make sure it's no water
Right.
get into the at the back.
Inside. So this is a problem sometimes that we are suspecting with ours is that salt water can get in, or either humidity or salt water gets in and starts dripping on parts. And so we've been replacing our starter like every year, and we were wondering like what's going on. Is it some corrosion leaking down, or maybe the relay fails, or I mean, so what can you do? It shouldn't be common, right, to replace every year?
It definitely shouldn't be common.
Right.
I don't have other customer.
Oh no.
That's why I remember you. I remember you very well because with your special case. But I think relay, of course, can be the cause of it. The way of operational, like don't start the starter for too long.
Right.
Like you should stop when the engine start running.
Yeah.
And
so actually, this is a good point too, because you were mentioning the other day about proper, not only regular maintenance, but also proper operation.
yes.
And so, when you're using the throttle with sail drive, when you're in forward, you're supposed to put it in neutral for a second or two before you let it go. Don't go directly into reverse.
Yes.
Are there other things in terms of proper maintenance, or maybe like if you leave the boat for a while, you're supposed to run it every now and then well, it also helps to keep the batteries up, or any other proper operation techniques.
Battery is, well, to be honest, whatever topic you say, it's always a good topic. So if you leave the boat for too long, it's good to start every week, like maybe for 10-15 minutes. Because inside the heat exchanger, such seawater can get in. Well, I got an example here.
Yeah.
This is a heat exchanger.
Yeah.
The heat exchanger, if the water stays here for too long, especially with clean water, you got the bacteria could grow inside and block the heat exchanger.
Okay.
So it could cause the engine overheating. So it's good to run, keep a fresh
I see.
every weekly.
So it's actually, in this case, it's fresh water that has something can grow rather than corrosion.
Seawater.
Right.
This is for seawater.
Okay. Yeah.
So water is outside the boat.
Yeah.
So here we have coolant water.
Right.
You want to show again?
Okay. Yeah. I see. Okay.
And these have to be cleaned at least every two years. It's good.
And how do you clean those? You just flush it? You don't take it out, right? I mean, you just
there's two ways. You can just flush it with chemical, which we don't usually do that method because flushing it, yes, it's clean inside, but you can't replace the O-rings.
Right.
And we do things that replacing the O-rings is also important as a service because the O-ring is for stopping the seawater get into the coolant water.
Right. And how long do O-rings typically last?
Well, it really depends.
Yeah.
It
On
really
usage
depends on
and the environmental conditions.
But we do see some O-ring fails.
Yeah.
And the seawater get inside the coolant, and it could cause the damage to the cylinder block.
Right.
Yeah. Other components.
But so like maybe just a rough idea. I mean, if the O-ring is new, like a couple of years should be good, right? Like, I mean,
who can tell?
Who can tell?
Like, because we see too many cases.
Yeah.
Some of them we can't really tell.
Right.
It really depends on.
So would this be covered in the annual maintenance when you're looking at everything? Can you see those, or you can only see it when you take it out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you're saying every 2 years you should take it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, every 5 years you replace the diaphragm.
Right.
Every 2 years you should check or clean
Heat exchanger. Right.
And also it's good to replace the coolant as well.
Right. Okay. So replace the coolant, so the same thing, like 2 years, every 2 years?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Good.
Okay, so what about fuel systems? Because this was, I mean, this is interesting, and I guess you will see the sludge in the oil change. But can you talk about fuel systems, fuel lines, and the problems that happen with those?
We call it diesel bug.
Right.
Like the
Like
LED
corrosion,
on the diesel. So when the engine is hot, you got fuel supply. We don't use all of them, there's a fuel return
Yeah.
back to the fuel tank.
Hmm.
While the fuel pass through a hot engine, and when it returns to the tank, it will bring up hot fuel, and it will cause the temperature inside the fuel tank getting hotter than the atmosphere temperature. So the heat energy will evaporate the water
Hmm.
in the air,
Yeah.
and causing a water drop.
Right.
And when this water drop condensate,
Condensate. Yeah.
condensate, drop back to the tank,
Mm.
got water. And when these have got water,
Cannot
They-
mix.
yes, they will start having some what we call diesel bug growing inside the fuel tank.
Mm.
And this thing cannot be dissolved, and they are very like a jellyish.
Yeah.
And they will block the fuel system. So we do have many cases, especially with a sailboat owner, as they have a small fuel tank,
Yeah.
and also they have a swallow, swallow, shallow,
Shallow. Yeah.
shallow fuel tank.
Fuel tank. Not like the big motor yachts, the huge ones. So then a
You-
little
you
bit
got
is
a
okay.
few
but-
thousand liters.
Right. But if you only have 60, 70 liters, then it's So this is also why if you were going to leave a boat for a long time, you should probably have it full so that there's less space
Yeah.
for the air.
That is very true.
Right. Yeah. Just like in cars.
Mm.
Yes. Right. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about batteries and electrics. I mean, how much work are you doing on batteries and electrics and I guess proper charging we talked about before.
For the batteries, well, we do have a lot of customer with battery issues, especially if they leave it for too long,
Right.
and there's a loss of energy in the battery.
Yeah.
And it's always good to have spare batteries if you are going to leave the boat for too long.
Mm.
We also see battery issues with failure of the alternator.
Mhm.
Sometimes when the seawater splash on the alternator,
Yeah.
they got failure.
Right.
Um,
So that's a corrosion issue, is it? Or
yeah,
failure, yeah.
failure of alternator.
Right.
Or even loosen belt, it could cause that
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
If the belt tension is not enough,
Yeah.
you can't spin the alternator.
Mm.
Well,
So if you're going to leave your boat for a long time, would you unhook the battery? Would you?
yes,
you-
if
You can just unhook the battery, right? So then there reduces any potential drain if there's a
Less.
short on the
you have
less chance, right? Okay. Steering and propeller.
steering and propeller. On the steering part, you only got control by
Rudder.
rudder, yeah. There's
Should
a
be pretty-
hydraulic cylinder.
Yeah.
Check your hydraulic fluid.
Yeah.
Make sure they have enough.
Hmm.
With the propeller, wow, this is propeller is funny.
I see you have one here behind you.
Yeah. We have some spare propeller with us, just in case, because one of the horror story I could tell is you got customer lose the propeller,
Come off.
come off. Yes, because maybe when the boat was out of water, they're doing some surfacing with the signal replacement,
Mm.
and they tied it. Maybe they forgot to put the Loctite to make sure it's tight enough.
Yeah.
And you got a loose propeller, like it lose the propeller into the sea and got no motion to the boat.
Mm. Wow.
So,
So would that be like when you do the regular maintenance, you check everything, right? From the engine to sail drive to propeller? Or
if
that's-
the boat is out of water,
Okay, yeah.
but when you're out of the water, few things you should do.
Mm.
Of course, replacing the signal
Yeah.
on the propeller, even on the shaft,
Yeah.
on a sail drive shaft.
How many zinc anodes are there usually?
Depends.
On the size, I guess.
Some of them we have. If you remember,
Yeah.
we have this half moon shape.
Mhm.
Some of them is
Rectangular, is it?
yeah, like here,
Okay, I see. Just
a
on
cone
the-
shape,
I
like
see.
a cone shape.
Mm.
So it depends on your model.
Yeah.
But usually they're like these two.
Wait, so tell me, so when the boat is out of the water, the things you can check is zinc anode, propeller. I guess that's the you don't check the diaphragm from underneath, right? Or you could check it from both sides, right?
Yes, we could do it on both sides.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have cell drive oil change.
Mhm.
I strongly recommend when you drain out your cell drive oil, the plug and the gasket, please get a new one.
Right.
Don't use old one. We usually keep a lot of this because when we service the cell drive servicing, we replace it too. It's a must.
Right. And then basically it's like, the seal can deteriorate over time, and then the plug itself, is it a corrosion issue for the plug? Or is it, what is the issue with the plug that you would want to change?
The plug is because, when we had it, we put some lock tie.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Yeah. So
we screw in.
Right.
So we'll make sure the lock tie is tight enough.
Right.
To stop water getting inside.
Right, because if you take it out and put it in, you still have some like residual Loctite in there, and maybe it's not really tight. And,
And
Okay, that makes sense.
This is not expensive.
Right.
But save you a lot of money for
Right.
zero drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, the least but not the last. No, I don't see many people mention this, but I do recommend my customer with every 3 or 4 years, they could replace the cell drive seal. Because this is also it's important.
And
Yes.
O-rings.
And
Yeah.
O-rings, yes,
Yeah.
of course. This seal is for stopping. Here we have a shaft.
Yeah.
Spinning.
Inside.
Yeah. So this is stopping the water getting inside the cell drive cables.
Okay, I see.
So this is one of the seal inside. And of course, we recommend replacement if we have a chance.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned you had some pictures you want to show us in the
Yeah.
presentation. Maybe this is a good time to look at that.
Yeah.
I can see it. So
So this is our company logo.
Okay. Yep.
microphone.
呢個可唔可以？嗱，點解係okay. Here we have some photos from last month. Here we have Volvo engines, but this is not the same. But I just want to share with you. This is what happened when a cylinder head gasket
Right. Is fails, and then
is damaged and water get inside the combustion chamber.
right. So it's all corroded basically, and
Yes.
right.
So
So was this engine running though with oil, even with the state of corrosion, and then you just realize that you're losing power or something? Like normally when a seal fails, you'll see that you don't have as much power, right? Like that should be pretty obvious, I guess.
it does happen, and
Yeah.
it lived for a bit long.
Yeah.
It lived for a period of time, and one day they find out the engine that crank.
Oh, I see. Or just like seized. It's
Yeah.
basically can't move.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because all the crankshaft is rusty
Right.
and it's jammed,
Right.
and also the piston
Yeah.
and the ring are all stuck.
Wow.
together.
Wow. So
So
yeah,
it's
just a big block of steel.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Wait, so on the left side, is that the engine from the outside? And when you took it apart, then you saw that?
No. We just
Oh, just
we
an
just have
idea.
the
What
photos. Yeah, this
okay.
is
the new one? Maybe.
sorry. For the green one is
Yeah.
Volvo engines.
Yeah.
Is one of the engine we serviced before.
Okay.
I'm sorry, a little bit confusing because this is. I just wanted to show you about engines.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
We just.
Yeah. This is like
Yeah.
outside, and this would be inside. But
Well, I think with a lot of customer who have a Volvo engine on the sailboat, we recommend this. Recognize this.
Yeah.
It's a Volvo old style engine.
Yeah. Okay. Inline four. Looks like yeah.
Impeller.
Oh, yeah, you were showing me the samples
Yeah.
over there. 'Cause-
Yeah. So it's always good to have spare.
Mm.
This is some like a broken impeller.
Mhm.
You can see some of the melt impeller
Mhm.
because of loss of coolant. They melt and they lose So
And then the fins like break off. Then there.
yeah,
So that, yeah.
so it's good to change it every yearly because
Mhm.
sometimes even when they not fell off, but it's if the propeller blade lost its elastic,
Mm,
it
yeah.
couldn't push the water hard enough.
Right.
But also depends because some
And leakage, I guess, too. I suppose, right? If it's maybe so, it's
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
correct,
sometimes
yeah.
it causes leakage. But sometimes when the engine and the seawater intake install with the distance, they could cause more pressure for the impeller
I see. Yeah.
to
The
suck the
pressure
water,
builds up.
to
Yeah.
suck the water from far away.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, this is something we have to share today.
Okay.
Well,
Wow. Look at that separation there.
on the left side,
Yep.
you can see primary fuel filter.
Mhm.
If you can look clearly,
Yeah.
you can see three different layers.
Layers,
in
yeah.
this. On the top, you can see like goldish
Mhm.
color. This is the diesel.
Okay.
On the dark side, you got some algae here.
Okay.
At the bottom,
Is
pure
water.
water.
Wow.
Pure water. You can see half tank of this is water. So when you drink it out, you can see on the middle photos,
Hmm.
this is all water.
Now, why isn't diesel heavier than water though? Why is the diesel on top in this picture? It looks like foam actually.
Oil.
Oil. Oh, oil will float on top of water. Yeah. Right. Okay. Maybe I guess that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to go back to my textbooks. Dude.
Then I said, okay, come work with me and you know more.
Okay, yeah.
Well, this is another.
So you can say, I mean, no, I mean, normally is the filter clear? It would not be clear, right? Is this filter normally clear that you can see it?
So what do you mean?
I mean, the filters, this is the way the filter is. So on visual inspection, you look at it, you can see something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must
Yeah.
be something wrong.
Right.
So when installing a primary fuel filter,
Mhm.
it very good wise to install this kind of
Filter.
glass.
Filter, yeah, you can see it.
You can
Right,
see it,
yeah,
yes.
right,
because some of the primary filter they are not transparent.
right.
You can't see what
You would have no idea.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it's because this glass housing,
Yeah.
you can see earlier for the filter damage.
Yeah, you can see right away. You
Yeah.
can see, yeah.
Because the water can damage the electric fuel pump, mechanical fuel pump,
Yeah.
or even if the water get inside the combustion chamber,
Right.
it could
Oh,
also
yeah.
damage the
Right.
engines.
Yeah.
So this
Basically, if
glass
the
housing
water
can
gets in the
stop it.
combustion chamber, then basically when there's an explosion, the gas is too great, right? And then I guess if it's one of the pistons, it basically destroys the engine
Yes.
because the expansion rate is different in the
Yep.
cylinders, right? Yeah. Interesting.
So that's why we recommend yearly service.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because we can see a lot as a technician.
Yeah.
Wow. Heat exchanger.
Yeah.
I think within a year we see many cases with failure of heat exchanger
Mm.
or out of maintenance.
Yeah.
On this photo, we could see inside is
Something growing there. Looks like.
broken signal
Okay. Okay.
stuck in there.
Yeah.
On the bottom, we can see some impeller blade
Hmm.
and I don't know algae
Yeah.
inside here. Well, on the middle one, we can see it here with leaking heat exchanger.
Leaking and corrosion, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's like-
Why is the heat exchanger leaking?
Mm.
When the heat exchanger leaks,
Yeah.
I can tell because inside is building too much pressure.
Right.
When the water can't pass through,
Yeah.
they have to find somewhere to expand.
Right. I see.
That's why to expand outside,
Yeah.
outward, because inside is blocked.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we could
Yeah, just basically the pressure. So that's interesting that is there any pressure sensors that you can tell you would have an early warning that there's something wrong there?
Well, the pressure sensor is funny. When it's lower, it tells you because it's out of coolant. loss
okay.
of our coolant
Right.
when it's because there's a sensor when it's lower.
Yeah.
It tells you to replace the impeller.
Right. I see.
But they don't have the sensors
For
They will-
higher.
it's for higher. You have to clean a heat exchanger
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
think they may expect you to clean it like as a standard maintenance.
Right. 2 years, every 2 years, like
Yes.
you're saying, right? Okay. Interesting.
We also have here. Well, you can see
Mm.
when we open up a cooling cap,
Mm-hmm.
we could clearly see the bottom.
Yeah.
Few things I could see from here.
Yeah.
See if you can guess. The first one,
Yeah.
there's no coolant.
Yeah. I was gonna say it looks very dry in there. Yeah.
And second, we could see a little bit rusty-ish.
Mhm. Yeah.
So in this case, as like a technician,
Mm.
we'll think, why
Yeah.
coolant shouldn't be lost that much? If
Right.
it lost this much amount,
Right.
it
Is it
must be something wrong.
either it's leaking or evaporation, or it's too, or so what would be some of the causes of that?
Internal leak in heat exchanger
Okay.
because the coolant leaks to the sea.
Yeah.
To the seawater side.
Seawater side, right?
And then it flushes out to the sea.
Right.
So why we can see some rusty is
Mm.
because
The salt's coming in.
yes, the
Right.
salt coming in,
I see.
and which is you should never seeing rust in this side because you should be adding anti-rust
Mm.
coolant.
Right.
If you see rusty inside, there must be seawater in there.
Right. I see. Interesting.
Here we got some pressure sensors.
Mhm.
This is telling the pressure
Mhm.
of the seawater. We got a dirty heat exchanger as well.
Mhm.
I think something minor, no one really cares, but also very important,
Mhm.
is the hose crank.
Mhm.
No one checks the hose crank regularly.
And what is this again? Exactly?
When you connect the hose,
Oh, the hose.
Hose
Yeah, the hose
connecting.
connection. You're right. Yeah. Right. Because the hose clamp could be loose or
Yes.
something come out. Right.
yes, and rusty.
Right. So this is actually something we have been checking also for the starter, is that what if the hose clamps were a little loose, then some salt water can come out, like,
Yeah.
right, something like that. Right. Okay.
I can see a lot of user.
Mm.
They only notice when it's broken.
Right. Well, also, I mean, here in this picture, it looks like corrosion underneath, right?
Yeah, in this case, it's actually the hose crank is not tight enough and
Yeah.
it causing leak.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
corrosion. Here on the left hand side, we got a mixing elbow.
Mhm. Yeah.
We have exhaust gas.
Yeah.
Mixture with
Seawater.
seawater. Mixing elbow is actually very clever equipment because it could cool down the exhaust.
Yeah.
It could make an engine room less hot.
Yeah.
But also, when the seawater is getting hot, it corrodes more
Corrodes
faster.
faster. Yeah.
So we have to check, especially with sailboat,
Mm.
a small exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
It does have corrosion and leaking.
Mm. Yeah.
Quite often things that could happen.
Yeah.
So throughout the surface, we always check.
This is another thing that we try to check for our starter issues.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very common.
Yeah.
Also, we can see we have some sink anode.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a must to replace.
Yeah.
It really depends on the factory.
Mhm.
Some product we've seen recommend we replace every 3 months.
Mhm.
Some say every 100 hours.
Mhm.
Some say every half year.
Mhm.
I think it's good for the owner to check on their own boat because it must not. It sometimes is not really a standard answer.
Mhm.
It really depends on the water quality.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
So we also replace the hoses. This is the hoses from the seawater intake to the strainer to the seawater pump, and also the exhaust to the outlet.
Mhm.
So here we got oh my god.
This is direct drive, or this is
direct drive, yes.
direct drive, right?
This is popular shaft coupling.
Okay.
So we have a corroded seriously coupling.
Mhm.
Owner may worry
Yeah.
it will break into two half,
Right.
and the propeller shaft
Open and then the
will say
Then the-
goodbye.
right. Then the boat will fill with water and sink.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is one of our big job, like 6 months ago, to replace a coupling. It is underneath the engine. It's very hard to see.
So you have to lift the engine out first, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to transfer the engines like a little bit to let us get inside to do it.
so where do you do that? When actually, because this is an issue we have also. Remember, because in our gearbox, or I'm not sure, it was basically with the throttle control. We had the pin like brake, and then it was locked into reverse, and that pin actually fell into the engine somewhere, and we never took it out. So your dad said we better take the engine out and turn it over because there's like there's not like an automobile engine like a drip pan or something. You actually have to turn the whole thing over and let everything drip out. Because if that little, even though the pin is so small, but if the pin got into the cylinder, that would be trouble. So
Yeah.
I mean, so my question is, where can you lift these engines out? Because some, I mean, our engine is not that big, but some engines are like quite big, right? So where do you do that? You do it here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We open up the deck
Yeah, you open the deck up and
Yeah.
lift it up.
and lift it up with a crank bolt.
Right.
We do that quite often. Like
How many of those? Well, you must do a lot of it. I mean, because if every engine over, I mean, engine well, it's not really. You don't need an engine overhaul, but like the regular maintenance. How often do you lift the engine out then on a?
wow,
It's hard to say, but
I have to say how many cases.
yeah, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
How many more pictures do we have before we? Because we have about. We probably
Yeah.
have like 15 minutes that we should do some Q&A. So show us some more pictures here. And
Okay, I'll just do it quickly.
Yeah.
Because our first time I'm seeing the audience, so
okay,
I'm a little bit nervous and I got too much to share.
you're doing
So-
a great job.
Okay, we got some seawater intake.
Yep.
This is funny cases because it is all stuck underneath
Yeah.
this plastic bag,
Wow.
and seawater can't get in,
Yeah.
and causing a engine temperature high. So, well, we decided to replace the whole thing because
Right.
we don't have much time.
Take it out and
It's
yeah.
very difficult when it got stuck inside.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is my team.
Yep.
We got some. We also do air conditioning.
Yep.
We also do the anchor system.
Yep.
This is some photo I'm going to share.
Okay, sure.
This is with a speedboat.
Oh, this looks like, is he holding an anode in his hand? I can't see.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Right.
This is the rudder,
Huh?
and also this is the propeller
Yep.
installation.
Yeah.
We did.
Okay.
This is this engine. I think I should mention a bit. I did it last month. It's the first time I'm seeing this brand. It's a Lamborghini.
Okay. Oh, you were telling me it's cooler, right?
Well, it's not actually Kohler, but
okay.
it's an engine brand.
Okay. Yeah.
But of course, Kohler use Lamborghini's engines.
Oh, I see.
I think it's the first time. I don't see much in Hong Kong, but I start seeing owner using this brand. So it is it's quite new. It's actually quite new brand. Is beside Yamaha or Volvo.
Yeah.
It's actually more brand coming here into this market. Well, the water maker. I think there's more owner installing water makers nowadays.
Because everyone wants to go cruising. COVID, they can go anywhere, so they want to go, put the anchor down for a week. And
3 days, 2 nights with the family on the sailboat.
that's what we're doing. 5 nights for
5
training
nights.
down in Middle Island.
Yeah.
Woo.
use some water instead of alcohol.
Yeah, this is actually we did a few weeks ago on a catamaran for the water maker installation. Because I think nowadays, like the water tank on the boat is getting smaller and smaller because they could have a water maker.
Yeah.
So they could free up some space.
Yeah, you were telling me for weight and but then it uses 1.5 kilowatts there, and then you need a generator to. I mean, you need like a powerful enough generator to run it, right? You're not going to run stuff out.
Well, this only got a small fish panda, so
Okay.
it's good enough to power up.
and well, it could generate 130 liter per hour.
Wow,
It's actually quite a lot.
it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's a lot of showers.
and after the installation, after running test, I did try a sip of the water.
Yes. Oh,
myself.
you did.
Yeah. I have
It's
to
a test.
I
You
have
didn't make Marco do it.
No.
I only drink alcohol.
Well, it was fine. I didn't,
Not too bad.
no.
Interesting.
I was surprised. Like
Yeah.
I have to convince my customer.
Yeah.
Like, so I have to drink it myself. It's not too bad. Like some of the maintenance.
But when these guys use for the water makers, are they using it for drinking or they're using it for like
They're not using it for
cooking
drinking,
and
they're not.
showers?
But it's using for washing up,
Yeah.
cleaning,
Yeah.
and for the toileting.
Right.
Well, maybe they drink. They got other water.
Yeah.
I did only a sip. So
So this is the stabilizer, is it?
yeah.
Oh, so this is so
stabilized.
interesting. You're telling me about how the stabilizers work,
Yes.
and basically, for boats, they want to park in the water, and they don't want anyone's tea to spill over, and they have this gyroscope that's spinning to obscene RPMs, I guess.
Well, some of the models is 10,000 RPM, so it's actually quite fast. Very quick.
Very fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And
then these are the hydraulics that will maneuver it to.
Yes,
basically-
it works with the brake system.
And then it's basically screwed down into the hull, or something. There must be
It must be.
there
the
must
hull.
be
It must be the
optimal
hull.
places to put it
Yes.
so that it has the maximum
Force.
torque arm or something like
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Well, this is we installed this like 1.5 months ago.
Yeah.
It's the first and smallest stabilizer here in Hong Kong, and it's for 23 and 30 feet boat. One with DC power.
Yeah.
Need not generators, so which is a very small, and outcome is actually very good.
How big of a boat was that on that one?
That one is.
Oh, here you said designed for 30 foot, 23 to 30. Yeah.
It's very,
Okay.
well, the last one was 27.
27 foot. Okay.
It's a small fishing boat.
Oh, interesting.
Well, some of the factory surface.
Yeah.
And
Something's more.
it's the end.
A lot of things. Okay, great. So let's see.
Yeah.
So maybe let's open this up to questions now from the audience. And let me open my chat.
I hope I could answer the questions.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions they want to ask? Let's see my questions. Maintenance budgets, like, I mean, in insurance, we were talking about owners thinking to themselves, like, they know how much they're spending every year for the upkeep of the boat, the mooring, all this stuff, and so they should think to themselves, oh, what percentage of maintenance? But do you guys ever think that way? Because, like, even for my car, I know I have an idea that every year I spend so much money, but it's like different things happen, right? Like 5 years ago this happens, and 1 year ago that happens, and so it's not like I mean, do you have an idea like what owners should think about?
Oh, to be honest, I don't.
Yeah.
As a condition, I always recommend customer to do what's necessary
Right. Yeah.
and what we recommend to do to the best of the boat.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which starts with the annual maintenance. It
Yeah.
starts with the annual maintenance, because
Yes.
then from that you can, just like getting a health check every year.
but sometimes it's really depends on the owner, and some of the owners they want to keep the boat like very neat,
Right.
very well in very perfect conditions.
Mm.
Some of them, it's okay if I'm just using the engine for in and out. Most of the time, I'm just sailing,
Right.
so I don't want to spend too much money on it. So it's really hard to keep a budget.
Hmm.
Also with the installation locations, some of them are installing in very tight area, under the stair, under the cook set.
Mm.
and it may get hard to access
Yeah.
and make the work like more difficult. So it is very hard to adjust how many budget you should be spending.
Right.
But
Well, maybe you can make it a function of, because the annual maintenance for a boat is whatever it is, like X, right? And then when you do little jobs, like it will be a multiple of that annual maintenance cost.
I don't think you
Can't say like that.
You can't say like that
Hmm.
because it really depends on the parts,
Right. Yeah.
and it really depends on the models.
Right.
It really depends on the brand.
Yeah.
So with the Yamaha engines, it is slightly cheaper compared to the Volvo.
Mm.
Slightly, but
It's Japanese, so maybe it's more
yeah, it's
reliable.
Japanese. I would say they're both reliable,
Mm,
but they have both little bit like different
Right. Yeah.
engine side. So, but Volvo we know is from Switzerland, so if we get parts, we have to pay more
For
for the-
importing.
for importing, for the delivery charge.
Yeah.
Japan is more easier to get.
Yeah.
And also with the Yamaha engine, some of them share a lot of the common parts.
I see. Yeah.
So we could use it. So they could mass product
Mhm.
produce.
So here's another question. It's like, I know there's a lot, I mean, I think a lot of boat owners will try to spend the least amount possible, right? Or they basically fix things only when it fails. And another, maybe along with that theme is, basically getting people who may have some experience, but may not actually be trained on that model to use, maybe non OEM parts. I mean, so do you often come across where owners try to cut corners by, using substandard parts and then fix it, or?
Of course, we have, but not a lot.
Okay.
Because to be honest, Yamaha parts is not that expensive.
Okay. That's good.
And also, for us, we only use factory.
Of course, you're the distributor.
Oh, not
only
because we are not because that,
Okay.
because of the warranty.
I see.
If I bought it from Yamaha,
Yeah.
it fails.
Yeah.
I can talk to Yamaha.
I see.
Hey,
Right.
we bought this last month or blah blah blah. We failed.
Oh, so basically, when you put what is the typical warranty? So like when you replace our starter, for
Oh,
example,
it depends on
On the part.
On the part.
okay, right. So if we had a starter and then a month later it failed again, then you could actually collect from them and
Well-
something like that, right?
Well, each part have different policy,
Right. I see.
but at least we could talk to them and see if they could help us
Right.
with that. If you get an OEM,
Yeah.
you fail, it could cause you other further damage.
Yeah. Right.
Who you
Yeah.
who
What are you
you
gonna
can
do?
talk?
Yeah.
No one
Yeah,
can
yeah.
complain.
Yeah.
So that's why when we get electric parts, starter motors, we always get from the factory.
Okay. So anyone in the audience have any questions there? I don't see any in the chat. Iris, do you see anyone raising their hand? Or I don't know how you signal you want to ask a question.
No, I haven't seen anyone.
It should be, I think the easiest thing would be to type in the chat if you have any questions. Otherwise, I mean, we can also, if people have questions later and there'll be people watching the replay of this, we can also try to answer your questions offline. I also want to mention, so for the Big Boat Group and the Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club, we have a Facebook page. So if you are in Hong Kong and part of the Big Boat community, you don't have to be a member of the Royal, but you can request to join that. And we have a couple questions just to make sure you're real people and that you're associated with boats. And if you don't have experience, it's okay. Just answer the questions, then we'll know that you're real and not scammers or hackers or something. Another thing is we also I put a lot of pictures on Instagram, so you can look at Big Boats HK if you want to follow photos from Big Boat community, and I would encourage all the big boat owners out there to use that hashtag to just, so we have more communication among ourselves. We really want to do this every month. So if any of you out there have suggestions or in terms of topics or people that could help us discuss issues that would be relevant to big boat owners in Hong Kong, please let us know. I don't see any questions. So any other thing you want to last words, or you've covered a lot of material here, and I think there's each boat owner will probably be thinking how these issues relate to them. And also remind them how long has it been since I've done my regular maintenance, which has been a long time.
It's very normal.
Yeah.
For our customer, like after the first service, we remind them yearly.
Yeah.
The service should be done this month. If you consider, please let us know. We are trying to do more service. We probably pick our old customer to remind them because I understand times fly.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes, when was that? Last year, May or June?
When the last time I went to the dentist? I can't remember. They sent me an SMS.
So we have Jackie, who take care of our office. Jackie, we have Jackie manage my
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is
schedule.
another question I had. Is there any season which is better to do work in terms of because I know it must be so busy. I know you guys are pretty busy. The whole market is busy these days. So is there any time when it might be easier to get a slot for scheduling?
Depends on what kind of service.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you want to get the water,
Yeah.
of course you can do it in the winter
Winter
time.
time is easier, yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
But maybe you have to also arrange the shipyard.
Mm.
Nowadays, like for the half month, we have more technician coming to work. And me myself, I'm trying to expand this my company and
Yeah.
my team. I have a real passion
Passion.
On what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love my job. Never be late. I want to learn more and more, and I want to get my team as well. We have more mechanical guys and girls.
Yeah.
We have a girl technician like from this month. So my team is getting bigger and bigger, and I am confident that with them to service the local market. So it really kind of hard to say when is the best to say, because we have enough manpower
Right.
to serve the market.
Okay.
So anytime is a good time.
Earlier is better than later.
But I understand because sometimes we have emergency.
Yeah.
We do have quite a lot of emergency.
Yeah.
I think in August, at least me and Marco, we got pickup calls. We have to get this done tonight.
Right. Yeah.
The boss has invited a friend and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we need the boat tomorrow.
Right.
Please come help us. We deal with it from time to time, and so I understand if you own a boat or if you manage a boat, you always have emergency.
Right.
And you have to keep the boss happy. So we have enough manpower, so
Okay.
competence. So you don't have to say summertime or wintertime.
Wintertime,
When
yeah.
you need help, call me.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you. If there are anyone last request for questions out there, if there are no more questions, thank you, Keith,
No problem.
and thank you, Marco, and thank you, Jackie, and we will see all of you next month. Check the sailing email will be sent out every week, and we will also post it in our Facebook Big Boat group in terms of when the next session will be. We're trying to do like the first week of the month, but on a Tuesday, but it will depend on the availability of our speakers. And anyway, thanks again, all of you, for the great effort, and thank you, Jackie. Okay, great.
Bye bye. Good night.
And thank you, Iris and Elsa in the sailing office.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Stop.